Hey there, aspiring guitarist. Today I'm going to talk about a few things that I think will help you as you watch my videos, other people's videos, um, and it's got to do with, I put in the title Skin in the Game, and that might be a bit abrasive to some, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. As you know, if you've followed me, I'm a retired journalist and newspaper publisher. So one of the things I used to tell my reporters, um, even back when I worked for PC World magazine, we were very big about defining things that people may not know at the beginning of an article. In other words, we didn't want the end user swimming in what we called a sea of acronyms. It's very common to use acronyms. The CAGE system, which may or may not be an acronym, but those of you that know it, but it's a method of guitar shapes as a very brief description that's used to learn the fretboard and play in scales and chords and on and on and on. Many of your online instructors, myself included, I try very hard to go into detail that lets somebody know what I'm talking about that may not know, but that might bore other people that do know. So, you kind of got to strike a balance there. But here's what I want to encourage you to do. Whether you've got somebody like me that's trying and maybe not always succeeding, before I say, well, and if you're going to do the chromatic scale and right off the bat, you're like, what is the chromatic scale? Why do these people do this? What is the Phrygian mode? What is the Ionian mode? Why do y'all talk about things that I don't know? Well, it depends on what their audience is. And if their target audience is nothing but beginners, then yes, it's more appropriate to break down every single word that someone may not know. I used to tell my reporters, don't assume that a reader knows something. Now, with that said, often, and this might have irritated some of y'all in my videos, I might mention a chord and say, you can look up an E minor, it's two strings. Well, why didn't I take the time to blah, 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 blah? Well, you probably already know that my videos can exceed 5 minutes and longer. And whether you believe it or not, I really am trying to concise things, but I do a lot of videos off the cuff, like I'm doing right now. Sure, I thought in my brain, what am I going to discuss with this and what's my topic I'm going to talk about. And that right there, what I just said, could have been left out and shortened the video. So where am I going with this? If someone says to you, the nut, you need to come up here on the guitar, you need to be near the nut, and they didn't bother to show you what a nut was, maybe their audience assumes you already know that. But if you don't know that, look it up. Now, I know that that you may think, well, you're not doing your job. Well, okay, what's my job? And I don't mean that facetiously either. Get used to hitting the pause button when you don't know something. Now, I'm going to tell you something. For all the controversy people can say about I won't support Google or Bing or this or that, and whatever. That's choices. Life is full of choices. I find that doing a Google search in guitar is very valuable. And I usually begin it with the word define. DEFINE, and then the word. Define chord voicing. define guitar chromatic scale. If you just put in chromatic scale, oh, you're liable to get a hodgepodge. Well, you're going to get a hodgepodge anyway, but that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Maybe, you remember I had a video where I said this isn't a bad idea to have a notebook nearby and a pencil, because sometimes you're actually watching something. You know, I'm old. I've had 2 cataract surgeries. Right now I'm on a big iMac desktop that's, it's, you can't even see my hands, but it's that wide, and it suits my eyes. So, but I also realize that's why you don't assume, or you try not to do in journalism or presenting something, that some people are watching it on a device as small as a phone. So define chromatic scale, define this, define that, deep dive. And, there are things, I'll show you, I'll talk about this. This is called, these are from Tuned In Guitar Lessons, Fretboard Memorization Deck, guitar flashcards, and I love them. Now, the guy's got a thing on the web, a video where he shows how he broke them down. They use a color coding system. For instance, you can see that's green, and everything in green will be something to do with this, and then you turn it over. What interval is this? Okay, right back to, you may go, what's an interval? Look it up, but put define guitar interval. You'll normally get a very concise definition. So why did I even bring these up? Because TMI, too much information. I have these in the bathroom, and I will periodically just pull them out of the box. Sometimes I put it, here's another set I've got. I put rubber bands around them. That's how I created my little head thing yesterday. But I might just randomly pull something out because it's a flashcard. The modes. And then you turn it over and it gives you the definition, which I realize that's hard to see. But it could be any number of things. Ionian major scale. And you may look at this and go, I don't know what that means. But what it does to you, it challenges you to learn. And that goes back into, you just saw that, the Ionian scale, and you're like, I don't know what that means. Define guitar Ionian scale. Click. Look at several answers. I know this was lengthy, but I'm telling you, sometimes you got to put some of your own skin in the game. I may shorten things in a video, an actual learning video, and you may be sitting there going, gosh, Hogan, get on with it. But I'm trying to appeal to a little bit wider audience than just a beginner. Many of us learned how to play guitar 20, 30, 40 years ago, but we never took it further, and we finally have a little time to, or we've made a commitment to. And there is absolutely no shame in going, I don't know what an Ionian mode is. I don't know what this is. And a lot of people are not willing to learn that because they feel like somebody may laugh at them for not knowing. Laugh at me all you want. I got over that years ago. And I realize we're all different. But anyway, I encourage you to put some skin in the game. You're still going to have to practice. Your fingers are still, I don't know if I can. Your fingers are still going to get sore. No matter, I just put in the community post about lighter gauge strings and how they help and things like that. You still got to go through. but there are things you can do that will help, and you got to put some skin in the game. So, hey, I hope you have a blessed guitar journey, and as always, happy picking.